Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I'm back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars while we're still playing through Super Luigi Galaxy, to be more specifically in the Super Mario Galaxy game for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have basically managed to beat Bowser Jr.'s butt, and also we did manage to once again collect some more power stars and stuff like that, and as a result, we actually did that pretty cool, and on top of all that stuff though, we actually did things a little bit faster and quick as far as that's been concerned with, as far as usually relatively speaking as far as this is concerned. And yeah, today for this video is the fact that we're about to be moving on to the continuation of the bedroom dome by simply now moved on to the next planet, which appears to be by the forms of what else? Freeze Flame Galaxy, of course. So, and exponentially we'll grab some more power stars with that as well. So either way though, I highly doubt, I don't know if I'm also able to get myself the next Grand Star though, but we'll see what happens in due time. So anyway, so let's get this thing to it. So yeah, how's anyone else doing for the sake of the forms of today actually? Well, first of all, I just want to classify for something, especially noticeable I suppose, that both Pac-Man and Pinkie Pie have both forgotten to mention about ever since and during the course of their Let's Play of Mario Party Superstars, because as far as I'm aware, that's relatively speaking though, because they talk about a lot of comparisons between, you know what I mean, Yoshi's Tropical Island alongside with Spaceland as well, and relatively speaking though, that's not much else to speak of. So, but either way though, before we get into more details onto this topic though, let's discuss upon something about the fact that today's day is of course the 10th of October today, in this case in 2022 today, and for those of you the bronies out there who are actually watching this, or specifically listening to my commentary, happy 12th anniversary of the release of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. In this case, one of the greatest My Little Pony media of all time. Clearly because of the forms of the art style, as well as the forms of a lot of emphasis on fantasy, exploration, adventurous kind of vibe to it, and all that shenanigan stuff. So as a result though, yeah, I still love the show even to this day. I mean, haters gonna hate, I mean, still I love the show to death. So as a result though, I still managed able to get the whole seasons, except with, you know what I mean, season 8 and 9, because I still have no idea why, when they're about to be able to get those DVDs released, but I absolutely have no idea when they're about to be released on DVD, or something like that, but we'll just see what happens, although I highly doubt it might not likely, sadly. So, anyway, so either way though, because as a result, yeah, I just can't even believe that particular TV series is now, well, 12 years old now, since 2010 nonetheless. So it's like 10, 10, 10, so meaning it's like 10 out of 10 kind of syndrome or something, which I honestly have no idea how do I explain this, basically, because it's been about 3 days ago since we actually last recorded this, basically, because, well, it's pretty obvious about the fact that, well, obviously, Pac-Man and Pinkie Pie have basically continued things on with the forms of Mario Party Superstars Let's Play, so, seems totally obvious sense. So, anyway, so, as you can see, I'm going to be going for the secret mission first of all, because obviously I'm just going to be able to do this route, so because of this though, we can pretty much expect that we can able to do the opposite direction, and technically speaking, I can able to actually perform certain shortcuts if possible, but either way though, we'll just get around to it, I suppose. So either way though, yeah, let's get to the forms of the most important aspect about the forms of today's discussion. That is the fact that yes, ever since about a month ago, we finally got a chance to get around to ourselves the full general Nintendo Direct for about a month ago, which I suppose I forgot to mention about ever since and during the course of not only the Mario's playthrough of this game right here, but also Tiana also forgot to mention about from the likes of, well, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, despite the fact that she now recently finished that game up. And on top of all that stuff though, you know, as I said, both Pac-Man and Pinkie Pie have both forgot to mention about, despite the fact that they've technically mentioned about the recent state of play as well, which, as a result, between the Nintendo Direct and the state of play presentations, they both came in exactly the same day, Except the noticeable differences being is a different time in between both the Nintendo Direct and the State of Play presentations, but regardless of such though, it is so awesome to be able to see both presentations all in one particular day for about a month ago, which takes place in the 13th of September. Seriously, why is it always the 13th of September or something? I mean, first they did that, which was on 2017 and also 2018, despite originally it was supposed to be hosted on new forms of I remember that time when I was a little bit anxious about that specific delay from the likes of the forms of the 2018 September Nintendo Direct. That basically though is the fact that they just somehow delay it from the likes of 6th of September because of the actual earthquake, which is a bit tragic. But regardless of such though, yeah, I think that's as far as seems to be the case. And yeah, this was technically the third time in a row that managed to able to get the Nintendo Direct presentation been up from the likes of the 13th of September day. So, except as far as I've noticed is the fact that it actually takes place in Tuesday this time around, which is a little bit different than the usual Wednesday and Thursdays syndrome, because in the past few years they obviously managed to able to have like, you know, Wednesdays and sometimes Thursdays presentations has been broadcasting. But aside from all that stuff though, that previously they technically already did the Tuesday presentation out of nowhere for when it comes to any kinds of Nintendo Directs. That takes place in the forms of a partner showcase in June this year, despite I'm still not a big fan of partner showcases all that much though, but at the very least it's the best one out of all the actual partner showcases has been revealed for the sake of the forms of this entire history. But at the very least though, we actually got just only one partner showcase at the very least, so at least that's that. So anyway, so yeah, let's get to the forms of the entire announcements they've got for the sake of the forms of the latest Nintendo Direct ever since about a month ago. First of all, they did reveal another Fire Emblem game of all things, but this time around though, it's like a main game or something. So as a result though, the game is actually called Fire Emblem Engage. So yeah, it basically functions as, well, I don't know if it's like a remake or is it a new game matter for that matter, despite I lost interest with the forms of the Fire Emblem series as of now. But regardless of such though, it is quite nice to see, you know, the brand new Fire Emblem game is going to be on its way. And relatively speaking though, because the last Fire Emblem game we actually got so far, which is of course the Warriors game Three Hopes, based off from, you know, Three Houses. So yeah, it seems interesting. And they've got the release date for the game, and that's going to be releasing until early next year, specifically the 20th of January in 2023. So yeah, that'll be exciting for those who are the Fire Emblem fans out there, despite I'm not. But either way though, that's not my kind of thing, I guess. So yeah, I guess that's that. And also they did reveal It Takes Two is now finally coming to the Nintendo Switch. In this case, one of the best games ever for Academy Award nominated Game Awards, I'm presuming so. Like, usually relatively speaking though, that's not much else to say. And the Switch version of the game is going to be releasing until next month. So as a result, it's going to be on November 4th. So it's roughly about 4 days before Sonic Frontiers is going to be releasing. So yeah, speaking of Sonic Frontiers though, on the other hand though, is the fact that Sonic Frontiers, we've only got about, we only got about a month left until that game is going to come out. Well, usually what I've noticed is the fact that on the Japanese version of that particular recent Nintendo Direct, that basically it did show a snip preview of the likes of Sonic Frontiers in Japan somehow, whilst unlike the English version, for some reason we never seemed able to see it. But the good news though is the fact that we actually see some more gameplay footage thanks to Gamescom, and apparently though we have some bit of a questionable thing that we actually discovered, and that is the fact that we actually got ourselves the a bit of a familiar gameplay concept from the likes of Sonic Adventure is back, specifically Big the Cat's gameplay style, which yes, the fishing mechanic have been returned. So, except this time around though, it makes things a little bit simpler and easier, I guess. Well, we're not exactly entirely sure for this point yet, because the game itself wasn't even out yet. until specifically next month anyway, though, so we'll just gonna have to wait and see. And, yeah, that's as far as saying goes. That's pretty much as far as I can think about it. And, yeah, enough about that. So let's move on to the next thing they've shown us for that particular presentation. And next up it is Project Zero Mask of the Luria Eclipse. So, not exactly sure how that it is, but it appears to be, it's like, I'm not exactly sure it's like a port or a sequel for this matter though. But either way though, because I haven't exactly followed the series as much as the next guy, so... And that particular game is going to be releasing in early 2023. So, yeah, that should be pretty much promising. And the next thing they show us is the forms of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass information. Such as, for instance, they're about to get ourselves Volume 2. And I think that's going to be releasing not long now anyway, until specifically this particular Wednesday coming up. So, yeah, it should be, cool for those if they enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles 3 so much. And as far as I'm aware, they actually include a new hero that can able to take on the challenge battles. So in this case, it contains a new hero as well as intense enemy battles. So, and I think it does have its name, by the way, and I think her name is Inno. So, a bit weird name, kind of think about it though. So, yeah, for those of you curious about that. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. According to the forms within the UK version of that particular DLC, it's going to be revealed at some point this Friday. So, maybe I keep thinking about the North American version for some reason. So, yeah, forgive me if somehow I managed to botch things some parts, but either way though, he knows what it is, I guess. So... Because the thing is though, is the fact that one thing before we move on to the forms within the next few games they got announced, and that is the fact that the only thing is a little bit differently this time around though, is the fact that usually, relatively speaking, in most any other countries out there, that normally we are supposed to able to get ourselves the live stream versions of those specific Nintendo Directs during the course of the latest one, as you probably already know. Well, it only affected only forms within Japanese and North American versions of that particular Nintendo Direct, because the thing is, in the UK version, here's the catch, because obviously, as you probably already know, that the unfortunate news did happen for about a month ago to be exact. So, because of this though, sadly, Queen Elizabeth II did pass away, sadly. So, because of this though, the UK version of the Nintendo Direct did something a little bit differently this time, because as opposed to the forms of doing the live stream, so instead, what they did is the fact that they decided able to upload the video on demand, instead of like live streaming it, because it makes a pretty obvious sense, because... You know what I mean, Queen Elizabeth II in the UK is more important than anything else, because it's very understandable, so... Because, you know, we have to be respectful, so... Yeah, I can totally see why they did the actual format change a little bit for... depending on what country we lived in. But, regardless of such though, we still got the exactly same stuff as what North America and the Japanese version, well, mind you, the Japanese version does have quite a lot of things, so... Anyway, so, I'm actually alright with this change, despite the fact that it does take me quite a while to get used to with this new format, specifically if I was going to live in the UK and stuff like that. Well, it might take some bit of time to get used to, so... Especially noticeable because there's a lot of news, live news out there, with Queen Elizabeth's death 24/7, so, because again, it's very important because, you know, we felt so sorry for her, so, afterward, when she was been through, after, you know what I mean, with all that, I will say that the best moments with Queen Elizabeth, throughout the whole years, in my opinion, it'll probably have to be by the forms of the opening ceremony. In fact, I think I should probably discuss more details about that until specifically this coming Wednesday, specifically the 12th of October most likely, because, well, I just feel like saving that conversation, because, what was I? Oh yeah, some more Nintendo Direct announcements. Next up, they've shown us some more third-party supportive games, and I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis on third-party support, which I was expecting about the fact that they'll bring in, well, excuse me, well, some of these, you know, first-party titles and stuff like that, but, yeah, let's get this thing to it. So first off, we got ourselves some more gameplay footage from the likes of SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake, And from what I've noticed, it's actually, you know, very similar to the forms of how it does it in Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, so I don't mind about it too much. And also, that as far as I've heard, the actual release date for the game is going to be pushed back until 2023, as far as I'm noticing this. Especially noticeable because, well, it marks the 20th anniversary of the release of the original version of Battle for Bikini Bottom back on the GameCube, PlayStation 2, as well as Xbox days. So, it makes a pretty obvious sense for me anyway, because I always enjoy Battle for Bikini Bottom on the original version, and as well as the remake, remaster as well, so I guess that's that. And also, out of nowhere, we got ourselves another fitness boxing game, except this time around though with a special theme. So as a result though, because previously we had fitness boxing 1 and 2 in the past, but now there's actually a special version of it, which this time it's gonna be Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star. So, I have no idea what this is about anyway though, so I honestly have no comment to that at all. So, I think that's going to be released in next year as well. So, speaking of next year though, the next game they did reveal is Odd Bowlers, which is kind of an odd title to able to have that in there. And I think that game is also going to be released in next year as well, so I guess it's that. And, the next game they did reveal is, Tonic, which I think it did came out for about a month ago actually, so either way though, no commenting for this point right here. And also we got ourselves some more footage on the likes of a remake of Front Mission First remake, and alongside with the forms of, well, Front Mission 2, if I recall. And there's also going to be the third one coming up, which should be in the future, so yeah, as far as I'm aware, Front Mission First is going to be releasing next month, and as far as Front Mission 2 is going to be releasing next year, and the third one is going to be in the future. So yeah, 3 games into one pack, huh? With that particular segment. And the next thing they show us is, I will say, this is probably the weakest aspect about the forms of the Direct in my opinion. With the actual release, you know, the latest release of the particular Nintendo Direct. Sorry for a little bit of a tongue twist in the end, folks. I do apologize for that. And because basically, not only do we get one of those farming games, but not only do we get one of them, not 2, not 3, but 4 farming-based games in this entire Direct. I know it makes sense specifically for casual players, but my god, when it comes to hardcore gaming such as myself, it just feels kind of out of nowhere, I guess. But as far as I'm aware, and also we do have exactly the same problem I have with the forms of it back in well, let's just say back in 2021 when it comes to February Nintendo Direct. Once again, though, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on JRPGs, which I know it makes sense for its JRPG fans, but it's just a bit too much for my taste. But either way, though, it knows what it is, I think. So, but let's get into the forms of the actual next thing they show us. Yeah, the next thing they did reveal is Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. So I guess that makes it pretty obvious for the sake of, like, you know, adding that particular game on here, and I think that's going to be releasing until next summer, so it should be on summer 2023. And recently, for about a month ago, we actually got ourselves our first Splatfest, and that will have to be, usually, relatively speaking, it did manage to take place in about a month ago, as I said, and they do manage to able to have 3 teams, such as, for instance, there's one of them which is Gear, and as well as Grub and Fun. So, yeah, I guess that's that, despite the fact that it's already over and done with, so, yeah, I guess it's that. And also, they did reveal the sequel to Octopath Traveler, which, yes, after 5 years, or almost 5 years ago, since the original game came out. So, either way, though, we are now moved on to the sequel to Octopath Traveler, in this case, Octopath Traveler 2. So, yeah, it makes it pretty obvious, because we already had, you know, Triangle Strategy this year, but now until next year, specifically 24th of February until next year. That's, basically, though, that's, well, relatively speaking, though, shut up, phone. Sorry about that, I just got a lot of notifications about, let's just say if I was playing, myself, My Little Pony, the game, on the iPhone, But relatively speaking though, because I haven't touched that game for quite some time, just because, well, I'm just simply almost about to move on to the next selections of games, basically. And on top of all that stuff though, yeah, I guess that's about that. So yeah, Octopath Traveler is going to be released, Octopath Traveler 2 is going to be releasing until next year, as I said. So yeah, seems awesome for certain gamers out there. And there's another farm game is on its way, such as Fear Farm. So yeah, this is what I mean about the fact that that was the only weakest aspect about the forms of that recent Nintendo Direct that we've got for about a month ago, because we just really wish if they all actually contained more action-packed games as opposed to, like, you know, one singular, like, simulation and stuff like that. But either way though, yeah, for Fear Farm, it's going to be releasing until next spring in 2023, so I guess it's that. And there's also the game that is almost entirely based off from the 3DS game, which did came out in just about, I would say 10 years ago at this point, I'm sure enough. But usually, relatively speaking, we're getting ourselves a sequel to the Feared Rhythm game from Final Fantasy, which, yes, we're getting ourselves another rhythm game, just like the forms of how it does it in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory for about 2 years ago, except this time it's Fire Emblem's Final Fantasy's time to shine. So because of this though, yeah, Feared Rhythm Final Bar Line is gonna be existence, and it's just like you know, the 3DS version, except, well, it actually features more features here and there. So I keep on thinking about the forms of trying to keep saying Fire Emblem, because we got the new game until next year, specifically, you know what I mean, Engaged. So, and as far as I'm aware, the release date for that game of Feared Rhythm Final Bar Line is going to be releasing until in February 16th, which, that reminds me of something. Oh yes, that will came out in exactly the same day as the 12th anniversary of the Mexi Toys YouTube channel. So yeah, that's actually pretty swell, if I have to say so for myself. And it all actually includes, well, let's just say they do manage to able to have some more songs into them. So, for instance, they'd show us the forms of some 2 additional versions of those DLC and stuff like that. Like, for instance, there is Digital Deluxe Edition, which actually contains 442 songs included, plus 27 additional special songs, and especially noticeable if DLC Season Pass 1 includes as a set. And as far as the next set is concerned, Premium Digital Deluxe Edition contains 502 songs included, thus with the same content as the forms of how it does in the regular Digital Deluxe Edition, and it seems jam-packed in there. And of course, we can never forget to mention about the forms of more gameplay footage from the likes of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, because as far as I'm aware, we technically already previously mentioned that from the likes of the forms of thanks to the forms of Ubisoft Forward presentations, because obviously that we did already shown off some footage around in the forms of the Ubisoft Forward, but they actually got themselves the forms of, you know, they finally bringing back Rayman until specifically sometime next year, if possible. So either way though, we'll see what happens there, because obviously they didn't show off any DLC showcase yet. But regardless of such though, that if you do pre-order the game as in Gold Edition, you get yourselves the Megabug collection for the weapons storage. So yeah, I guess it's that. Even though the release date is unchanged, so that's good, because obviously I'm so desperately able to play, you know, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and because of that though, I'm just really looking forward to it, so. Anyway, and the next game they did revealed is the forms of Ren Factory 3 Special, which I'm guessing it's like a, one of those RPGs and stuff like that, so I guess there's not much else to explain about this. As well as from that, they mentioned that the new series is going to be in development as well, and I suppose that's about it. But, on the other hand though, when it comes to the forms of the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass, or Expansion Pack even, originally it was expecting to able to get itself some speculations or rumors, despite the fact that I no longer trust rumors and leaks anymore, just because I'm sick and tired of them. But, regardless of such though, they actually revealed something new for the Nintendo 64 lineup. So as a result though, they did have some very interesting titles, but there are some titles are actually going to be revealed for the first time to be re-released, which, you know what I mean when it comes to the forms of certain other games that has never been re-released on Wii and Wii U in the past, but now they finally brought them onto the Nintendo Switch expansion pack. Well, first off, they revealed Pilot Wings 64, which is alright, but not my cup of tea. But the next one afterwards though, we have the first Mario Party, which is interesting because either way though, I'll discuss more details in a second, because either way, we're now finally able to actually access the Trials of Galaxies because we've got all 3 of those green stars, so as a result, we can now able to tackle them. In fact, we can probably tackle for them right now actually, because you know what I mean, I just like to do something a little bit differently for its different variety and stuff like that. Although originally I was able to go back into the bedroom dome and able to actually carry on with some more missions, but I just can't help it for myself, so anyway, so yeah, they finally managed able to reveal Mario Party 1, and not only Mario Party, but also Mario Party 2, and finally, Mario Party 3 is also on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. So thank God for those who are new to these games, you don't need to worry about buying the expensive original cartridge version of Mario Party 3. So yeah, about time that, well, usually relatively speaking, that was the 3rd time that Mario Party 2 gets re-released, alongside with the Wii and Wii U, despite the fact that you're no longer going to get Mario Party 2 on the Wii and Wii U now, just because, well, you know what I mean, with all the fact that the shop is almost going to close down. And, on top of all that stuff though, yeah, for the first time ever, both Mario Party and Mario Party 3 finally gets its re-release on the Nintendo Switch. Despite the fact that we've already technically experienced the past boards, but it's been remade from the likes of Mario Party Superstars. But if you want to get a chance to able to get a full experience on all 8 boards in Mario Party 1, and all 6 boards in Mario Party 2, and 12 boards, because the reason why I say 12 boards, because of 6 Battle Royale maps, along with 6 dual maps, then obviously that'll be a best of multiplayer value for you. And also you can able to play Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 online. So yeah, really awesome. Especially noticeable because if you really want to play online, well, have an enjoyable time. Especially because just like Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars, and yeah, it looks like we now actually have 5 Mario Party games to be accessibility with online play. So yeah, I cannot wait to see how online is going to play out. Well, I'm hoping that it will not lag or anything, but we'll see what happens until these games are about to be streaming onto them, so. And especially noticeable because if you guys who've ever missed out on playing, you know, Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 3, well, that might be a perfect opportunity to finally get a chance to play those 2 other Mario Party games. So yeah, what do you guys think about it? Because it's really awesome, despite the fact that I've already got the original cartridge versions of these games, but unless if you really want to buy the expensive price for able to get yourselves the expansion pack. So yeah, good luck trying to able to afford that price or amounts, because trust me, it's so ridiculously overpriced at this rate. So anyway, that's pretty much about that. So we've got all 3 of those N64 Mario Party titles onto the Nintendo Switch right now. So yeah, that's super top notch. And on top of all that stuff though is the fact that I believe that the Nintendo Switch is going to be the hungry machine when it comes to Mario Party games, I'm pretty sure. Because, well, ever since in the Wii, well, it might seems pretty obvious that the Wii has the majority of Mario Party games will be playable, because obviously with the GameCube games will be backwards compatibility, and also applies to the forms of some emulation games. Like for instance that you can able to get Mario Party 2, and you're able to play Mario Party 4, 5, 6, 7 on the GameCube backwards compatibility, as well as, you know, Mario Party 1 and 3 if you actually access the N64 emulator, and of course, oh, darn it, I messed up with my bubble movement, so, whoops, that was my fault. Anyway, but thankfully we've got a checkpoint, so at the very least we don't need to worry about this, so. Anyway, and also you can able to play Mario Party 8 on the Wii along with Mario Party 9 and Mario Party Advance for GBA of emulator if you're able to actually access to them. But as far as the Wii U in comparison goes, obviously you were able to experience Mario Party 2, DS, Advance, and also 8 and 9, 10, and especially noticeable with GameCube emulation for, you know what I mean, Mario Party 4, 5, 6, or 7 if you do the actual complicated things, which it's kind of hard to say really, because I haven't exactly done hacking into my game systems for quite some time now, because obviously I'm just feeling a good mood today, especially noticeable because, well, at this point in time, we've actually got 2 General Direct for this year, which is not too bad, but I kind of wish there was actually going to be more variety on them, especially noticeable after the disappointment, shocking department in regards of the forms of reviving Partner Showcase in June's case, so... But as I said, it only happens once, so I might be alright with that. So anyways, the next game they did revealed for the Nintendo 64 games coming to the NSO, and that's what appears to be both Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2, which is a pretty interesting choice, especially noticeable despite the fact that both of those games sadly will no longer have the transfer pack system where you can able to use your own Pokemon within, based off from Pokemon Game Boy titles from Red, Blue, and Yellow, and Gold, Silver, and Crystal. That there's no way you can able to actually choose your stronger Pokemon during the course of that, you know, the lack of transfer pack system, which is kind of a shame. But you can still play some classic mini games, we all know, so yeah, that's actually a pretty good choice. And the next game they revealed is 1080 Snowboarding, which is alright, but either way though, I'm just very glad that the entire trilogy of Mario Party games has now been revealed on the Switch Online membership services. So yeah, that's, you know, as I said, super awesome indeed. And also we've got Excite Bike 64, which is okay enough. And as far as the actual roadmap, as far as releasing those games goes, consecutively, Pilot Wings 64, alongside with Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2, is expected to be able to come into the service this year. However, for Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, and Excite Bike 64, is going to be on next year. And fundamentally though, for those who lived in the UK, this will be the first time ever you can finally get a chance to play Excite Bike 64 whilst it's already being released in exclusively to North America, just like in Dr. Mario 64. So yeah, it's actually pretty swell. But that doesn't end off here, because it looks like the good old classic first-person shooter game for the Nintendo 64 era has come to return, which, yes, I'm referring to as GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64. Yes, that classic game is gonna come back, but it did say coming soon, but it does manage to support online play, which is pretty cool. So that'll be get ourselves a lot of chaotic moments around here. So yeah, that's actually super dope and everything. So, and I think that's about it when it comes to the Nintendo 64 lineup of games coming out for it when it comes to NSO services. Which I will say, that's a very good lineup. Especially noticeable, we've finally got, you know, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 in that particular services. So it's awesome stuff. So, although, don't get your hopes up though, because you still need to come across into that dreadful rotating the control stick type of minigames in Mario Party 1, sadly. So, yeah, best of luck on that part. So, because trust me, you really don't want able to injure your hand again, especially if you're trying to play the game in online play. Oh my god, that would be entirely different scenario, but either way. So yeah, I guess that's that. So I believe the only remaining ones left, although I kind of wish they were able to add more fantastic games into this NSO, such as for instance that, well, obviously we got Super Mario 64, obviously, and the only ones we're missing on though is Donkey Kong 64 and Diddy Kong Racing, alongside with the forms of Banjo-Tooie, and also Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. I mean, those are the only ones left, I can assure you for this point. But either way though, I'm also able to do a bit of a checklist until whenever we get to the next uploading schedules on this. But I'm not going to do it right now, because the next thing I would like to point things out is the fact that we'd like to discuss upon more reveals from the sake of other Switch games they did reveal from that Direct. Next up is the forms of Various Day Life, which I think is going to be another, you know, JRPG kind of stuff, which is nothing special in my opinion, but it knows what it is, I guess. I'm presuming so anyway. So, yeah, and I think that particular game is going to be releasing until, I'm not exactly sure, actually, because it doesn't give us the release date yet. But, on the other hand, though, the next game is, Factorio is getting its release date, and that is going to be releasing, this month, actually. So, either way, though, only 18 days left, though, so, to be expected at this point. And, I got no comment on it. And there's also IB, which is like a top-down, like, I don't know, like simulation or something. And that's going to be releasing until next spring as well. So, yeah, nothing special in my part. But, on the other hand, after that, we got ourselves the second wave update just recently for Mario Strikers Battle League Football, which it already came out for about a month ago. So in this case, though, we actually got ourselves not only one new stadium, just like the forms of how it does it on first wave, but also the next gear armor and stuff like that, but also 2 familiar characters, well, to be more specifically, 1 brand new character and the returning character from ever since in Mario Strikers Charge Football. Yes, I'm referring to as Pauline finally makes her playable debut in a Mario Strikers game. So, I mean, what's this? This is actually the 3rd time that Pauline is going to compete against with all the Mario's friends during the course of in the sport era. So, for instance, that she first did it on Mario Tennis Aces, and also Mario's Golf Super Rush, and now Mario Strikers Battle League Football. So that's 3 sports that she now competes on, which is pretty top-notch, especially after the success of Super Mario Odyssey. So as a result, yeah, I'm very glad that Pauline makes her playable debut on that game now. And let's just hope until when the new Mario Baseball game will exist, and then she'll be playable on that as well. So, well, depending on the forms of how well the 2023 games lineup is going to be revealed during that time. So despite the, we don't know exactly when the lifespan will end for the Nintendo Switch, just because it's still doing so well. So, I've got nothing to say about it. So, anyway, and also Diddy Kong is finally back after the events of, as I said before, ever since in Mario Strikers Charge Football. So yeah, I'm very glad that Diddy Kong is now playable again. So the only thing is left now in terms of the returning playable debut when it comes to the Mario Strikers Battle League Football department for its playable characters. It will probably easily be Bowser Jr. and Petey Piranha. I don't really think they'll able to bring back you know, Super Team, because obviously Super Team is another one of those forgotten Mario characters these days, especially after, like, how weird these characters are. But, on the other hand though, the new stadium environment that does manage to have is Planetoid, because it has a lot of emphasis on planets, so yeah, I guess that's that. So, yeah, that's basically all there is to it. So I'm might as well able to go back onto Mario Strikers Battle League Football, despite the fact that I almost like lost interest just because of all that, you know what I mean, stupid free update system, which I'm getting sick of these kind of stuff these days, especially because it just gets a bit tiring. So anyway, the next game they did reveal is the forms of Atla Reservoir 3, which I can't really pronounce that particular game very well, so I do apologize for that. And, yeah, not much else to say, because obviously I think it's another one of those JRPG kind of stuff, so, not my interest. But, at the very least, it got its release date until February 24th next year, so, I guess it's that. And also, they did reveal something new, although I think this will be the last thing I'll mention for today's video, sadly. But don't worry, I will continue more discussion on the forms of the Nintendo Direct announcements eventually until on Wednesday, so don't worry, we'll get to that at some point. The next thing they did reveal is some more gameplay footage from out of nowhere, which did surprise me. That's what it appears to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 3. Yeah, it's a bit weird able to reveal it quite early, didn't it? Although, I think I should probably mention more about it until whenever I get into the next uploading schedules onto this. Until, as I said before, this Wednesday, because I'm thinking I'm almost out of time, because even then though, I would love to able to mention more details onto this though, but either way though, hopefully we'll finish up the rest of this conversation until this particular Wednesday, so... There we go, we've now on to 61 power stars, and I think we should probably end things off here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Luigi Galaxy in Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and that is the fact that we'll continue things on in the bedroom dome and grab some more power stars from that. So I'll see you guys until on Wednesday. Later, fellas.